Johnny Depp is flying his 2 Yorkies from Australia back to the United States in a private jet. Now, it might sound like he's just doing something for the hell of being a rich man, but it turns out that there's actually a good reason for doing this. Now, Johnny Depp loves his Yorkies. They're his favorite. And apparently, he did something very, very bad when he traveled to Australia. He didn't undergo the proper precautions prior to traveling to Australia. Apparently, they have very, very strict laws when it comes to transporting animals into their country. So Depp allegedly breached biosecurity regulations by bringing his 2 dogs into their country without proper documentation.
That sounds serious.
So Yorkshire Terriers Boo and Pistol must be taken out of Australia by Saturday morning, officials have said, or risk being euthanized. So if you take a pet to Australia, you have to undergo all these different tests for the pets, okay? So you have to do 2 things that are the first to be done. A rabies injection, a month's wait after, then a blood test to ensure it has been effective, with the date of the blood samples for pets in the UK needing to be 180 days before travel. Like, that sounds so complicated. I have no interest in going anywhere with my pets.
And
right?
Poorly written too.
Yeah, exactly. So closer to the travel date, cats and dogs need to have internal and external parasite treatments, blood tests, and a government export certificate from Britain's Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. In addition, pets need an import permit from Australia and then 10 days quarantine on arrival. So he didn't do any of that. So when he showed up with his dogs, officials were like, we're going to euthanize them unless you send them back to where they came from. And so as a result, he was forced to put them on a jet and fly them back.
Yeah. Wow. It's interesting that Australia treats every dog the way our police treat dogs during drug busts. Yeah, that's look. You are totally free to have whatever regulations you want in terms of trying to stop animal parasites and things like that from entering the country. And maybe they have a real hold on it and they don't want their pets to get infected. Yeah. I totally get that. But 6 months before travel, you have to have these procedures done? I mean, most people, do they even know they're traveling internationally 6 months at a time?
I know people really love their pets.
Leave your pet at home.
Leave your pet at home. They have, if you really love your dog and you're willing to do anything for it, there are like really fancy, lavish pet hotels you can put them in, right? If they're uncomfortable with that, then find a family member who's willing to take care of the pet. Why would you go through all this hassle just to travel to Australia? That's crazy.
Yeah, and it could be, for all we know, I mean, he's an actor. He might well have needed to go there for a role that could have left him there for months at a time. But I assume it's got to be cheaper to go back and occasionally visit the dogs than to rent a plane that could have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the money, certainly. But, I mean, the question, I think, is, did he purposefully do this? Did he not know that he was supposed to do it? I think it makes a lot more sense to me that he could have gotten offered some role and gone there and not even had 6 months out from the trip to actually get them done medically.
So when you land, you have to go through immigration with all your stuff. Didn't they see the dogs when he came through immigration? They said the way
he had them in his coat pocket, actually. His 2 little Yorkies.
Oh, maybe he did. But they would still find them. They'd find pot on you if you had it. So I saw that they said they found out he had these dogs when he took them to the groomer. Somebody spotted him with the dogs when they took him to the groomer. Well, how would you know that the dogs didn't go through the things they were supposed to go through?
The whole thing doesn't make sense.
Wouldn't the guy
it's a conspiracy.
It is. Wouldn't the guy... Where's Alex Jones? Did his car arrive yet? Get his car.
What I'm wondering is, were there certain people that just kind of like turned the other way because he's a big celebrity and they're like, whatever, just let him get away with it? And then finally some official caught wind of this and he's like, no, you don't get away with this just because you're a big celebrity. I don't know. I feel like maybe that's the way it worked out.
Why can't they just give the dog rabies shots in Australia? All right, the dog's here now. We can kill it.
I don't even know if they have rabies shots in Australia because rabies doesn't exist in Australia.
Oh, it doesn't?
That's part of the reason why they don't want...
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Well, then...
I could be... By the way, I read that from one source and it could be wrong, so...
All right, we have a double check.
Yeah, I have
if
to
that's
double check
true,
that.
That's the one way animals can kill you that they don't have in Australia. That is a dangerous ass place, I hear. But anyway, yeah, the dogs will be fine, I guess. I like, as a dog lover, and I like Johnny Depp. I'm not gonna say I'm a lover, but I like that he loves his dogs so much that he wants to bring them there. But there's some things you don't have to do. Leave them at home.
Exactly. Even if you're...
I'll take care of him.
Yeah.
My dog would love it.
I would, Johnny, if you're watching, next time you have to go to Australia, I'll come to your house and sit with your dog. Okay? And I'm not gonna put on a wig and try to pretend to women I'm you and get them to fuck me. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to be there as Jimmy Dore, taking care of your dogs. And if someone mistakes me for you and wants to fuck me, that's a different story.